Welcome, everybody. My name is Jeff Napolitano. I work for the Partnership for Worker Education at UMass. Where the Partnership for Worker Education has organized the webinars this week and next week. We are this week doing webinars regarding, the last one is tomorrow at 9 a.m. And these are for folks who are on extended furlough, which means that you are on a furlough without a recall date. Next week is going to be the series of webinars regarding having a 2-week furlough. So if you're in USA or PSU and you're facing only a 2-week furlough between now and January, there were 3 webinars that are going to be going on to help you guide through those. And those you can register for at umass.edu/worker-ed/furlough. You'll see that there's a section specifically for folks with 2-week furloughs and folks who are on extended furlough. Today's focus is to help you navigate the Department of Unemployment Assistance to get benefits. It's for the panelists are not in a position to answer UMass specific questions. If you have any UMass specific questions, on the screen is in bright yellow and on our website. Any UMass specific furlough questions should be directed to an email address, which is covid19hr@umass.edu. It's staffed by the HR department and folks who are designated to specifically address furlough questions about UMass. And so with that, I will introduce the panelists. Just one note, this is being recorded and it's going to be put on the website for folks who couldn't make the meeting today, the webinar today. We had a lot more people who were scheduled, but there's mass power outages in the area. And so no doubt a lot of folks are unable to make this. So our panelists, our presenters are going to be Carol Snyder, Luis Hernandez, and Megan Williams. And I'm going to hand this over right now to Bob Bauer, who is a member of the Massachusetts AFL-CIO and also part of the Rapid Response Network. So.
Thank you very much. My name is Bob Bauer. I'm with the Massachusetts AFL-CIO. I'm the assistant to the president on workforce development, and we oversee the workforce development programs at the AFL-CIO and are part of the dislocated worker program, which is the rapid response team and part of the state team. We work with them very closely, and they do a tremendous job helping out our members all over the state of Massachusetts. They've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people even before this pandemic, but during this pandemic, these folks have been putting in 24/7 to do whatever they can to help our team out there and help our members who are losing their jobs through this terrible time. Like the university system, our team is statewide, and we're all over the state, and we help one another out whenever there's a plant closing or a layoff or a situation like this. We've already been working with the university in UMass Dartmouth, UMass Lowell, UMass Boston, and as well as UMass Amherst. And a lot of people think of the system, but they don't realize, you guys do, it takes a village, right? I mean, there's people who work in food services, there's people who work in the parking garages, there's people who work in security and maintenance and other areas of the university, and everyone's being affected by this. So right now, we are working with a lot of the unions out there, and if you do have a problem, and like they said, if it's something to deal with unemployment and you can't reach somebody from our team, you can always go back to the union. The unions have been really good about putting together a list together of people who may have a problem with their claim. They can get them to us. We can work with unemployment. We can try to get those problems resolved. And like I said, our team does a tremendous job out there, and a lot of our members on the rapid response team have a lot of years of experience working in unemployment. So we're very fortunate that we're able to get this stuff resolved. I see already there's a lot of questions today. Megan and Carol and Lewis are going to go over the whole system, how it works, and hopefully guide you through not getting into a problem with unemployment. It's very simple. There's a lot of, very simple to get into a problem by answering a question wrong. And we're dealing with a lot of the adjunct professors right now who have had a lot of problems with their claims. But just because there's a problem doesn't mean it's the end of the world. We're here to help. Just because we're having a meeting today doesn't mean we're going away. We're going to be here every step of the way to help you through this difficult time. And again, these folks here got a lot of knowledge. They're going to help you all through the system. I encourage you to pay attention today. I know you probably won't get all your questions answered today because you'll think of things later on. But again, we're not going away. You can go through the union or through our team, and we'll be happy to work with you and help you out every step of the way. Thank you very much. And I'll turn it over to Carol to introduce the team, unless Megan's going to kick it off today.
Can I just make one comment, and that is to hold for folks to hold questions until the end, if you can. We're going to be going through the questions that are posed in the Q&A box. Chat is disabled. Please don't use the Q&A boxes just for chatting or making comments. And we're going to go through those questions at the end of the presentation. Thanks. Carol?
Stole my thunder, Jeff. Well, I welcome everybody. Good morning. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot out of this presentation. And again, Louis and I will answer questions after the presentation, but we want to assure you that we are here to assist. I think we've assisted thousands in earlier situations or the earlier furlough. And I'm going to turn it over to Meg, and Meg will take you step by step exactly what to expect and how to navigate through the unemployment system. But we will offer our information and our email addresses so you folks can be in contact with us. I turn it over to Meg.
Good morning. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate you guys helping us out today. A couple things that we're going to go over today is how and when to file an unemployment claim, how and when to open or reopen a claim, as the case may be, and some of the requirements that are necessary for your unemployment claim. A little bit about Rapid Response and what we do. Rapid Response is a federally mandated program through the Workforce Innovation Opportunities Act. We're designed to assist businesses and employees experiencing a layoff or closing. Let's see. Here you'll see a list of contacts. We have a statewide team and through various regions. As you can see here listed on at the end is Carol Snyder, Rapid Response Coordinator, Luis Hernandez, and myself. If you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to us as well. And if you have any specific questions, please, for rapid response assistance, please email us using the Help UMass as your subject line. That way we can make sure that we are addressing your personal needs. I'm sure what everyone is most interested in is how to open an unemployment claim or how to file an unemployment claim. So the first thing that you're going to do is remember that you must be in unemployment to file for unemployment, meaning you must be in your first days of unemployment, no longer working. So you can't open a claim ahead of time because that will kind of put a glitch in the system. You want to make sure that you are in unemployment to open your claim or reopen your claim. But there's numerous ways to do that. You can go online to www.mass.gov/DUA and fill out the claim online. You can also call the Department of Unemployment Assistance at 877-626-6800. That is a Monday through Friday operating system, and that's 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, If you are to call in, you have designated days assigned by the last digit of your social security number. For example, if the last digit of your social security number is a 7, you would call in on a Thursday to open your claim. Or you could do Friday, which is any day. So that is something to keep in mind when calling in. But that way, if you do need assistance, there is someone there to guide you through the process. Some of the important information that you would need to know when you're opening your claim and when you're filing, as well as reopening. You want to make sure that you have your social security number, or if you have an alien registration number, make sure you have both of those handy. Your personal email address. You want to make sure that you are using your home email so that you can be reached with any communication from the Department of Unemployment. Because they will, if you choose electronic communication, they will be sending you emails. So you need to make sure that you keep an eye out for them because they can be time sensitive. Other information you'll need, your employment start and end dates, your reason for separation. I understand that this is classified as a furlough. That is not an option when selecting your reason for separation. So you want to make sure that you select lack of work or layoff. Layoff is the actual phrase that's used. The definition is a lack of work. So again, I just want to stress that your reason for separation will be a layoff only. Now, you want to make sure that you have your banking information. So if you choose direct deposit to receive payments, you want to make sure that you have your bank account and your routing number available to set that up online. If you have dependents, which we'll get into a little bit later, and you want to claim them on your claim, make sure you have their social security number and date of birth. You also will want to have UMass's federal employer identification number, which can be found on your W-2 form. If you do not have your W-2 form handy, stay tuned. We will make sure we provide that at the end of the presentation for you. When you open your claim, one of the questions you will be asked is, are you out of work because you have been impacted by COVID-19? That is something that you want to make sure that you answer yes to. That is definitely an important question at this time because there are current policies in place for that. Now, I will go over this a little bit later, but one other thing is if you should have any issues filing your claim, the local career centers do have, some of them do have unemployment navigators available, and you can certainly give them a call as well. Now, some of you may be reopening a claim. And why would you need to reopen a claim? Maybe due to a break in collecting unemployment benefits for 2 or more weeks. You previously went back to work full time, or you earned too much money in a part-time position to collect benefits for previous weeks. These are all situations where you would have to reopen a claim if you've previously had one within the last 52 weeks. So within the last year, if you have had an unemployment claim, you are required to reopen that claim. Now, in order to do that, you want to log into your UI online account or call the Department of Unemployment, once again at 866-626-6800, and they can help walk you through it. Once you have logged into your claim online, you'll be directed to your homepage. Not sure if you can see it very well, but you will see that there's a red arrow, and that box on the side, that left-hand sidebar, will have a list of options for you. You want to choose reopen claim. So you're going to click on that, and then they're going to start the process. You want to make sure that you verify your contact information and any payment methods. Because once you click reopen a claim, any information that you had previously put into unemployment will be there. So you want to make sure that your address is correct, your contact information, phone number, email, and any payment of choice. So if you chose direct deposit previously, or if you had chose the bank card. You want to then answer all the claimant questions and enter your employment details. So you want to, that's where the employer federal identification number comes in handy. It makes it much easier. You want to go through the process and answer the claimant questions, and then you're going to, at the end, select your reopen date and submit your request. I want to keep in mind, if you have a previous claim, anything from your previous claim will follow you. So you want to make sure that you get everything straightened out when you reopen the claim. Once again, to emphasize, as far as determining your unemployment insurance benefits, remember the benefit year is 52 weeks. So again, if you had an unemployment claim within the last year, that is one that you will have to reopen. Your benefit rate, however, is calculated based on your last 4 completed quarters. They take the 2 highest quarters, average them together, and you will receive about 50%. The maximum numbers of weeks of a full-time claimant can receive of benefits is up to 26 weeks. Part-time is based on gross wages earned. Okay. And recently there was a change. The current maximum benefit rate available based on your wages earned is $855 per week. Okay. Now, one thing we want to mention is if for some reason you are out longer than the 26 weeks, there is a 13-week extension available only if you've exhausted your original claim until December 31st of this year. So December 31st of 2020, that does go away. I want to make that clear. Now, I mentioned earlier dependency benefits. Well, actually, I mentioned dependents, but that leads to dependency benefits. That is why I mentioned them. If you have children at home that are under the age of 18 or under the age of 24 years and attending school, or any age but unable to earn wages due to mental or physical incapacities, there is a dependency benefit or a dependency allowance that is available to you. That is $25 per child, and it is available if you provide more than 50% of the child's support. And it is offered to one parent or guardian of each child. So this is something to keep in mind. If there are 2 of you in the house and both want to receive benefits, only one parent or guardian can receive those benefits. Okay. And fun part, as with all income, unemployment earnings and income are taxable. So you are responsible for paying federal and state income taxes on unemployment benefits received. Currently, tax withholding rates for federal income taxes is 10%. Massachusetts is 5.05%, or you could do a total of combination of 15.05. You do have the option of how you would like to do taxes. Like I said, you can select one of those 3, or if you do not want to have taxes withheld from your weekly benefits, you will be responsible for paying federal and state taxes directly later. And come the end of the year, you will receive a 1099-G form that will be used for your taxes. And most importantly, I'm sure you all want to know how you were going to receive these unemployment benefits. I mentioned earlier direct deposit. There's actually 2 different ways. Want to go over this a little bit. If eligible, typically your first week of unemployment is considered your waiting period for which you will not receive benefits. However, that has currently been waived due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, but I like to make everyone aware of that. Also, all payments will be made to you weekly by either direct deposit or debit card. So again, when you are filing and opening your claim, you want to make sure that you have your banking information if you so choose. Otherwise, you will receive a Bank of America debit card from unemployment. If you choose direct deposit, the banks require a minimum of 10 to 14 business days to approve the initial deposit. That is just the initial deposit. That does not include the processing of unemployment claims. And then keep in mind, if you make any changes to your payment status, meaning you have to change the direct deposit information for some reason, or you change it to a debit card after you've initially put in direct deposit, those changes will affect the processing time. So it could extend it and take it even longer. So make sure that when you sign up, you have everything accurate in there as you want to receive it. Payments, initial payments from unemployment can take up to 4 weeks to process. So you want to make sure that, yes, the bank is going to process in a matter of 10 to 14 business days, but the payments may not go in right away. Now, requesting weekly benefits. This is something that is required by you to request weekly benefits. You must do this every week while you are in unemployment. This can be done one of two ways. Weekly benefits can be requested by logging into your unemployment homepage, where you can also, on that left-hand sidebar, click on Request Benefits link and answer the questions accordingly. If you're not comfortable doing that online, you can also request your weekly benefits by calling the Massachusetts Department of Unemployment Assistance telecert line, which that number is 617-626-6338, which is available every day, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. However, there is a requirement for the telecert line. In order to use it, you must first create a PIN number, and you need to call the Department of Unemployment Assistance PIN selection line at 617-626-6943. Now, just one thing to keep in mind when requesting weekly benefits: when you are answering the questions, make sure you have a calendar handy. Remember to always answer for the previous week, according to the dates provided, because when you, as you'll see in the next slide, when they ask you questions, there are specific dates they are referring to. So you want to make sure that you have that information in front of you. Okay. So this is a brief overview of the telecert questions that you will see online and through telecert, or excuse me, the telecert line. You will also be asked these questions. You will be asked to provide your responses for the week of Sunday, and you'll see here that it says the date through Saturday and the date. So you want to make sure that you keep that in mind when answering these questions. Always for the week prior to you calling in. So the first day that you are calling in, and I'll go over this again, but the first day you're calling in, it's going to be for your first week of unemployment. And I'll go over that in a little bit more detail momentarily. It's going to ask, did you work during the reported period listed above? This includes full-time, part-time, temporary, self, or military employment. So did you work and earn wages during the reported week? If you worked or earned wages through either a part-time employer or through UMass, if you've received any payment, if you received 8 hours of pay or income or earnings, they all classify kind of as the same. You want to say yes, and you're going to then input how many hours you received and then your earnings. So you want to make sure that you are reporting that there. Next question. During the week listed above, were you offered employment? Did you quit a job or were you discharged from a job? Again, remember, this is applying to the dates that they are requesting. You've answered all your questions about UMass when you opened your claim. So this is in regards to anything separate from that. During the week listed above, did you receive or apply for income from any other sources that you had not previously reported? This would be other income if you had received, sorry, my brain went numb for a moment there. But this is if you had received any other sources, any, say, pensions.
Maybe workers' comp.
Workers' comp, thank you. Anything else other than your earnings from an employer. How's that? Now, during that same week listed above, they're going to ask you, were you able to work? Were you available to work? And did you look for work? These three things are a must in order to receive unemployment benefits. So you must be available to work, able to work, and looking for work. So I want to stress, with unemployment, the job search is required, but we'll get into a little bit more detail as to what options you have for job search. Now, I know I previously mentioned opening your claim and then being able to telecert. So you're going to open your claim your first day that you are in unemployment. Once you've done that, so this is just hypothetical using a calendar in front of me. Say that your last day of work is October 16th. You are going to open your claim on Sunday, the 18th, and file for that week. You are then going to request benefits starting Sunday, October 25th. So this is where that previous week comes into play. You're always answering your questions for the previous week. Okay. And then you will continue to do that each week while you are in unemployment. Many individuals do work an additional part-time position and want to know if you can still work part-time and receive benefits. You may still be able to receive unemployment benefits if you work part-time. You are required to report those earnings and that income if you work part-time in addition to UMass. When you open your claim, you will receive a benefit statement, and on there will be what they call an earnings disregard. Earnings disregard is the amount of income you are able to make while working part-time and receiving benefits. Basically, to sum it up briefly and quickly and make it a little easier to understand, you are able to receive 1/3 of your benefits. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied this morning. Apparently not enough coffee. You are able to receive 1/3 of your weekly benefits. Anything thereafter is dollar for dollar. For example, if you receive $300 in benefits from unemployment, you are able to earn $100 in your part-time position. If you were to earn $120 in your part-time position, anything over that 1/3 is dollar for dollar deducted from your weekly benefit payment. So if you receive 300 and you earn 120, your benefit payment would be 280. I know that can be a little confusing, but I just try to make that a little bit of an easier. So just remember 1/3 of your benefit rate. Now, the local career centers, Mass Hire, Franklin Hampshire Center, or Career Center, has offered to assist with unemployment claims as well. So if you require additional assistance and would like to speak to someone there, they do have an unemployment insurance staff person, and they can be reached at 413-774-4361. You can also reach out to the Department of Unemployment Assistance and their teleclaim center at 877-626-6800. Now, once you open a claim, you will most likely, many of you will receive a letter from unemployment speaking about the Career Center services and requiring a Career Center seminar, or requiring you to attend a reemployment, I should say, and requiring you to attend a reemployment services and eligibility assessment. There's two different programs that they may require, and that is something that is a mandate, I guess you could say, through unemployment to continue your benefits. You want to make sure that if you receive this letter, that you attend the Career Center seminar, which is only about an hour and a half or so, and it is virtual at this time. And the next process or program that they'll have you attend is the RESEA, the Reemployment Services and Eligibility Program, where you will work with a counselor on your job search, your resume, things of that nature. That is a program that is required as well. However, the Mass Hire Career Centers do offer quite a bit of services to job seekers. One such being job search assistance and access to online job postings through JobQuest, which you can sign up for at any time, and you'll receive a job seeker ID, which that can be used once you receive your job seeker ID. That could be used when contacting the Career Center to make sure that you get credit for all your attendance. They also have veteran services. If there's any veterans in the audience, they do offer some veterans programs. There is career counseling and coaching for job search. Also networking opportunities in virtual job fairs that they have currently going on. In addition, if you are interested, they do offer virtual workshops for resume writing, interviewing skills, variety of different programs. Could be anything as far as Google Docs, if you were interested in more training on that, LinkedIn information, different things of that nature. Each Career Center does offer a variety of things, and a lot of it is virtual currently. So you want to make sure you check that out on their website. And trainings can be also something if you're interested in a little bit more intensive training. They do offer training through what they call the REOA program for if you're looking to, by chance, receive another certification or anything of that nature, or if you have a few semesters or two to complete in college, you're absolutely welcome to inquire about that and the assistance with that. Once again, this is a listing of the Mass Hire Career Centers. The nearest one to UMass Amherst is Franklin Hampshire Career Center, which is located at 1 Arch Place in Greenfield. Their phone number is 413-774-4361. And their website is www.masshirefhcareers.org. And also to access the JobQuest website for job postings, if you're interested, is attached here as well. There are also some other areas, career centers, Mass Hire Holyoke, Mass Hire Springfield, and Mass Hire Berkshire, if those locations are better for you. Okay. And just some frequently asked questions that we have come across in our journey here. We wanted to share with you, and then we will be getting ready to open up and take some questions. I know I promised earlier in the seminar that we would provide your UMass Federal Employer Identification Number. It is 04-600-2284. And this will be also on your W-2, or I believe UMass will have it on their website as well. Number 2, what does unemployment mean by my start and end dates? Just want to emphasize, unemployment is looking for the date you started your position with UMass. And the end date is your last physical date that you worked with UMass prior to your furlough. Once again, I want to emphasize, what should I put for reason for separation? This is classified as a layoff. What do I do if I was laid off previously from UMass within the last 52 weeks? Do I reopen my claim? Yes, you will be required to reopen your existing claim. And can I work a separate part-time job and still collect unemployment benefits? Yes, you will need to report your earnings weekly when you request benefits. I do consulting in addition to my current role at UMass. Do I need to report these earnings? Yes, you must report all W-2 or 1099 earnings to unemployment. When requesting weekly benefits, how do I know if I am able, available, and looking for work? Once again, you must be physically able, available to return to work, and actively in touch with UMass. And I just want to stress again, we are getting ready to open up for some questions. But if you have any questions in regards to your job specifically with UMass, make sure you reach out to your human resource department. Okay. I think we're going to open it up for questions. Carol, Lewis?
So Jeff, do you want Lewis to read the questions?
Sure. Happy for you to go through it, and I'll mark them answered as you go through.
Okay. So let's see. Will we be sent our benefits faster than the last furlough?
I can't state that. I will say when you were furloughed the last time, it was probably in June. June was the most pressing part of this COVID situation. So I'm going to say yes to that. I think if you have no issues on your claim, you answer all the questions correctly, I think this time will be quicker because we're not in the scheme of the whole pandemic. Things have kind of come back to reality and calm down a little bit.
That's a good way of putting it. Next question. I have an account at unemployment or a claim from the last time we had to take a 1-week furlough. How do we change it to part-time work? Thanks. I think Meg covered that when she talked about reopening.
So yes, you would, if you opened a claim in June and now you're furloughed again or laid off, you are going to reopen your claim. And I'm going to use the same example that Meg used. So if your last day at work with UMass with a reopen is the 16th, you're going to open your claim between October 18th and October 23rd. You have all week to open the claim. Then you will start answering the questions through the 25th and the 30th. And I will add, you have access to online on Sundays. If you are reopening your claim and utilizing the call center, they're only open Monday through Friday. Okay. When you're answering the questions, you can do it Sunday through Friday. So you have all week in both situations. We emphasize to answer the questions on Sundays and get into a routine if you're going to do it Sunday or Monday. The reason being, you get your money quicker. So if you answer the questions every single Sunday and Monday's not a holiday, once everything goes through, you should be receiving your payment on Tuesdays. So I want to clarify that. The other thing I want to clarify, with a reopen, they will ask for dates when you reopen your claim. They are not looking, and you'll notice it won't let you put in dates if you started with UMass 10 years ago. With a reopen, they want the current dates. So they want the last date that you just worked. So if you were laid off on the 16th, that is the date that they are looking for.
Thank you, Carol. Next question. My furlough week is October 5 through 9. Should I submit my unemployment benefits application before the week or during the week?
It's when you're in unemployment or you're furloughed. So if you are currently furloughed and you are not working, that's when you will either open your claim or reopen your claim.
Next question. I submitted an unemployment benefits application to DUA for the week of June 1st through 5th for my first furlough week. It was approved, but never received money. The Mass Employment website says that the first week is a waiting period. No money? So is this true?
It is not true. That has been waived back in March due to the COVID-19. So if you did not get paid for that, that is going to hold up your going forward. So you need to contact unemployment and find out why you weren't paid for that situation, and then go forward. So when you call unemployment and ask about the furlough back in June, you can also have them reopen your claim, and you can do everything in one phone call.
Good. Do they require an end date? Of course, we don't have one.
If you're laid off or furloughed, you do not have an end date, so you would not put an end date in. And even if they're saying, oh, well, maybe we'll have you back January 15th, maybe, do not go there. You have, the only way you want to put a return date is if you have it in writing and you know definitely. If there's any uncertainty, my recommendation is do not put an end date. It will not affect your claim. But if you do put an end date, guess what? It'll stop, and you have to get in contact with them, and they have to get in contact with the employer, so it causes an issue, and then there'll be a delay.
Absolutely. Next question. Will that 10 to 14 day waiting period by the banks for direct deposit still be in effect if we are reopening a claim, if we were already furloughed back in June?
Yes. To reopen or to open a new claim usually takes between 2 and 4 weeks, because they have to verify everything. So there's two parts to unemployment. There's your part and there's the employer's part. So they have to verify the information with the employer. They have to verify your information with a new claim. With a reopen, basically the same situation. They have to verify with the employer that you have been laid off again and that you're reopening your claim.
I think the question was directed more towards the direct deposit time. Will it still require 10 to 14 days of verification from a bank?
Not from the bank, but from unemployment, yes.
Okay. If we have a part-time job, say working at Stop and Shop for 10 hours a week, how will that change responses to the telecert questions?
Well, as Meg said, the first question that you answer each week is, did you work and earn income? You would say yes to that, and you're going to put in the 10 hours that you worked in your gross earnings. And you will do that each week. Now, if you worked for Stop and Shop and you also got paid for UMass, you're going to have to combine those and put both in. And again, you're allowed to make 1/3 of whatever your benefit rate is. And then you go over that 1/3, it's dollar for dollar.
Okay. Next question. Were you offered employment question? How do you answer that?
Well, if you're offered a new job, that is what the question is referring to. If you're offered new employment. So say you were offered a job at XYZ Corporation. However, it gets really tricky because if you answer yes and you're not starting the new job for 2 weeks, if you say yes to that, you're talking to a computer. So the computer is going to cut you right off. So you're going to say no to that until you're actually in the job working and you've been there for a week. And then it will ask you, were you offered new employment? You can say yes, you've been there a week. And they'll ask you your start date, your end date, and they'll ask a bit of information from you.
Okay. The next question, Yvonne, I think we may have already answered it, but if you can just clarify a little bit, we'll skip it and come back to it. Except we were not required to look for those of us on furlough. That's what we were told for June furlough. Is that still true? Not required to look for employment.
That gets very, very tricky because now you are furloughed indefinitely or laid off. So this is how I would handle this so you don't have any issues. Able to work, yes. Available to work, yes. Looking for work, yes. You can state that you're in a union and that you are in contact with UMass. When you are required to go into the career centers to attend a career center seminar, to attend the RICIA, everything's virtual, so everybody knows you're not going into the career centers. Everything's virtual, so it's very easy to attend these, and you can do it by phone or video. But when you do the RICIA program, again, they're going to emphasize that, and you have to say you're a union member and that you are in contact with UMass. But you technically, because you don't have a return to work date, you have to be looking for work.
I think we've probably answered the next question. This is the next one now. I will be furloughed for 2 weeks. When I answer yes to did you look for work, the website asks where. How do I respond?
UMass.
So I'm taking off 2 weeks with a week working in between. Do I need to reopen the claim?
With unemployment, your claim will stay open to you for 2 weeks. So if you reopen your claim and then the following week you're going to request benefits, but then you're not going to you're going to be working the following week, you can do two things. You can go in there and say, I'm working 40 hours or 37 hours, and this is what I'm making, and it will close the claim and you can reopen it. It's very easy to do. Or you can skip that week, go back in and answer the questions again. Either way, it's going to close your claim probably, and you're going to have to reopen. So the screen that Meg showed you, if over to the left-hand side, it states reopen, click on that and reopen.
Carol, just a point on that. We've been seeing a lot of people, especially in the building trades, who work a week, they're off a week, and back and forth, they take a short-time job, and their claims have been getting closed and they've had to reopen them. So if you wait until that following Sunday to claim, if you didn't work all week and you wait for that following Sunday, it'll say you're eligible to reopen, but not until the next week you can claim benefits. So you can lose a week and then you'll be chasing that week. So you're right. If it says reopen, you have to reopen on that Monday after your last day of work. If you work a full week, then on Monday, check your claim. If it says reopen, you want to reopen that claim because it does go dormant.
Good. Thank you, Bobby. What does actively in touch with UMass mean?
It means that you're available to go back to work at UMass. So if UMass sent you an email or called you and say, we're back in session and we want you back and this is the date, then yes, you're going to go back to work.
Okay. Next question. As an indefinitely furloughed employee, do we still need to be searching for employment since the university has classified it as a temporary unpaid leave of absence with a recall date?
In the unemployment world, you want to focus again on you are laid off. Okay, you have no return to work date and you're laid off because of the lack of work. So that's what you want to focus on in the unemployment world. That's what they understand. You don't want to check that, what was the wording that they used, Louis?
Indefinitely.
Indefinitely laid off, okay? You want to just select laid off, lack of work.
Next question. Do we need to fill out the job search log on a weekly basis, although this is the furlough?
I would say yes to that. I think it's very being proactive and I think you should fill out the forms and what you're doing. And, a lot of networking can go on in reference to that. And you can put networking on there. Bobby, what's your feelings on that?
Yeah, I'd like to jump in for a second. A lot of people are concerned about the job search activity. It's very, very simple to cover that job search activity. And later on down the road, we've been seeing a lot of these jobs that are temporary furloughs turn into permanent layoffs. And if that happens, you're going to have to look for a job. And it's very simple. They're going to tell you how many days did you look for work? And you're going to have to say 3 days. If you don't say 3 days, there can be a problem. And then when you go to the job search log, you can keep, a pad of paper and just write all the jobs that you're looking for on there and skip that part of it. As long as you're keeping your own job search log. And like Carol said, you called the union, that's a job search. You networked with friends, that's a job search. You went online and looked at monsterjob.com, that's a job search. There's a million ways to do job searches. Some people actually pull up a job on the Commonwealth Employment Opportunities. There's a lot of jobs on that. You take a picture of it and, you have to pretend you're looking for work, even if you're furloughed. It's always a good practice. And then down the road, if this gets worse and people have to look for another job, when you do go to a career center, and Carol mentioned the career center seminar, they're trying to make sure that workers understand there's a benefit there for you, that there are some great resources at the career center for you. There may be some additional funding down the road. We've been saying that the UMass system, if it gets devastated the way that these layoffs are going on, we've applied for national emergency grant money. And some workers who may be in food service or other areas say, I want to change my career. I want to do something different. I need to do, I need some retraining in order to do that. And what first thing the career center is going to say is, how are you doing with your job search? And you're going to be able to pull out that job search log and say, hey, I looked for work. I can't find anything in the field that I want. I need to upgrade my skills. So it's a good resource. It's a good exercise. It's very simple to do. And if you do it, you won't have any problems with your check. If they stop your check for some reason, then you're going to get into this black hole, and we will be there trying to help you get out of it 8 weeks later. So whatever you can do to simplify your unemployment claim, that's what you want to do.
And I'll add one more thing to that, Bobby. Thank you. Go to mass.gov, put in job search, go to Job Quest. Job Quest is the state of Massachusetts job data bank. You log in, you make an account for yourself. Log in there once a week, every week while you're in unemployment. It'll take you 2 seconds to sign in and get in there. When you're dealing with the career centers, they'll ask you for a job seeker ID number from JobQuest. That's the number you can use to access JobQuest and access services at the career center. But you can go in there, it's local employers, you can look around. They have the login information that you've been in there. It's a verifiable job search, very smart to do once a week. So you're active with the union or UMass, you have JobQuest that you're doing every week. All you have to do is one more job search activity a week when you think about it. The other thing I'll emphasize is they have training funds. As Meg said, if you want to get a certification in something, if you want to complete a course, if you even want to do Excel or something as simple as that, or you want to complete your degree, they have access to grant monies that can help you pay for that. And you're unemployed, and that's when you can access these funds. Highly recommend looking into that. And that is through the career centers.
Good points. We were told that if we had to furlough earlier in the summer, the start date is the day we return from that furlough. Is that correct? It would not let my coworker choose their original date at UMass as their start date when they reopen their claim. Correct.
When you reopen your claim, they're talking about your current status and what you just did with UMass. So they're asking the date you were laid off. They're asking for your current layoff information when you reopen.
Please explain again the 26 weeks and the end of December.
Sure. So if you open a new claim, or if you opened it in June and you were a full-time employee, you will receive 26 weeks of unemployment. If you're part-time, like Meg says, it's based on your salary, so it'll be less than that. There is an extension. So if you claimed, let's say in June and July, but you went back to work and now you're reopening again and you've used some of those weeks, there is an extension right now with the CARE Act, and it is a 13-week extension, but the cutoff for that extension to be used is 12/31/20. So you would have to be on that extension before 12/31.
Okay. What kind of benefits can I apply for at this time? PUA or DUA?
You are going to apply for regular unemployment with the Department of Unemployment Assistance. PUA is only for if you own your own business and folks that don't qualify for regular unemployment. So if you are working and you are earning money and you are receiving a W-2, you are going to apply for regular unemployment under the Department of Unemployment Assistance.
Carol, one thing I just want to be clear, we talked to a lot of people too in the past who said, well, I might not be eligible for unemployment, so I'm going to apply for PUA and unemployment at the same time. Don't do that, because what happens is with this fraud system, they're going to think you're trying to fraud the system, and then you're going to get all tied up. So don't try to do both at the same time. It's a nightmare if you do that.
The rule of thumb is always apply for regular unemployment, let them make the determination that you do not qualify, and then you apply for PUA.
Sorry, I have to fly, guys. I left my contact information if anybody needs to get in touch, and the union knows how to reach me anyway. So take care, everybody. Good luck.
Thank you, Bobby.
Ryan, this next question you should direct to HR. So we're going to skip that one. UMass will list our employment status as active until the end of January 2021 because they need to bring us back into payroll to deduct from our vacation pay for our insurance. Are we still considered layoff? Do we need to report the vacation as income?
Yes, if you are receiving any paycheck from UMass, you are going to declare that as income each week. So if they're paying you 8 hours of personal time, vacation time, or any time because you're paying for your insurance, that first question says, did you work and earn income and/or earn income? You're going to say yes to that. You're going to put in the hours, 8 hours, and you're going, or 7.5, whatever it may be, and you're going to say, you're going to give the gross amount of monies that you earned.
Perfect. The next one, Kevin, also should be directed to your HR. So we'll go on to the next question. People are having issues right now with the unemployment system saying they are employed, even though they are furloughed. Is this due to having to claim those 2 accrued vacation sick days to cover our insurance deductions? And can you tell us the correct way to claim these so it doesn't happen to us?
That's exactly what I just stated. You're going to state every week when you answer the questions, you're going to say, I worked or I earned income. And you're going to put in the hours and you're going to put in the gross amount of monies that you received in that check.
Okay.
So you do that if it's every week or every 2 weeks. You're going to if you get paid through UMass every 2 weeks, you're going to break that in half and do it every single week with unemployment. Okay.
The next question, Debbie, Carol just answered this question, so we'll skip that one.
I think this question about the previous 1 week furlough change, so if people were previously on furlough, does the date that they return to the university count as the new start date with the university? Because a lot of people took a furlough back in June.
Yes, you use your current dates, not the date that you started with UMass 10 years ago. Correct.
What if I still have a part-time job on campus?
Then you are going to answer that first question, just like that first question is for any income that you've earned through working or using your time. So if you're still working on campus, every week you'll go in and say, yes, I worked 8 hours and I've earned this amount of money. So you'll do it every week.
If you are on indefinite furlough from UMass, is UMass a valid employer for our job search?
Right now it is, because through the union, they are asking you to stay in touch. But of course, we're always recommending that you look for work while collecting unemployment.
Is there currently an additional $300 weekly, or has this ended as the $600 did in July?
There is no extra federal funds or state funds available at this time. Back in June, I think there was $600 a week. That is no longer available. That ended in July. And then there was an additional $300 a week through grant monies, and that is also ended. So as of right now, there is no extra funding available. And as far as I know, there's nothing on the table.
Okay, great. Those are all the questions. Great questions.
Actually, there's one more that just popped up that might be kind of important.
Okay.
This is how will our previous furlough affect the 2 highest quarter analysis?
Well, you're reopening your claim. So your claim started back in June. So it based everything on previous. You're not going to reopen or open a new claim. You're going to be reopening a claim. So you're reopening an existing claim with monies previously. Does that answer that question?
Okay.
Okay, that's all the questions.
So the one more thing I'll add to that is if you're opening a brand new claim, as Meg said, they'll go back 4 completed quarters. They'll find the 2 highest quarters. They'll find your average pay, and you get 50% of that. That's how they determine with a new claim. With an existing claim, when you reopen, that claim's already existing and everything's already there. So you'll be receiving the same amount as the existing claim that you have.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have time for one last question that just popped up? Okay, then we'll close down the Q&A. It's what if you are a shared living provider and don't earn an hourly wage?
I don't know what a shared earning, I don't know what that means. Anybody?
Shared living provider?
I don't know what that means, but of course, again, if you're earning income, it's what you're earning, not what somebody else is earning. It's what you're earning, if that answers that question.
Okay. Well, thank you for this session. For folks they will be who are going to be on extended furlough or are on extended furlough, there will be another webinar. So if people aren't here today, there's one tomorrow at 9. And then for everybody else who's undergoing a 2-week furlough, there's 3 more that are happening next week. And you can get to those, you can register for those, and you can also find this recording at the the Partnership for Worker Education website, which is umass.edu/worker-ed. And thank you all for all of this work.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.